courage. You have to have the courage to love somebody. Because you risk everything. Everything.
That's what you want. And that is what you mean every time that you say that you love me. You say that I've been trying to kill you? What do you think you've been doing to me?
I'm not trying to make you anything.
Yeah, but why? Why aren't you? Isn't it just that you're afraid, so you take me because you don't have the guts to go after a woman, which is what you really want?
You've only been talking about what I want. But I've only been talking about who I want.
I'm a man, Giovanni! What do you think can happen between us?
You are leaving me.
Baby, all I'm saying is spank it with me for 10 years so that we get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They just look at the pictures.
Okay, baby. Look, I get what you're saying, okay? I know exactly what you're saying. But just think about it for a second, okay? I don't think that's a human possibility. If I got to smile at a cat all day on the job, you understand why I'm smiling, right? I'm not smiling because I want to. I'm smiling because baby needs new shoes. I can't go to work, put on a performance all day on the job, and then come home and put a performance on all night in the house.
So one of the performances will stop.
Okay, so you say, and okay, I might be ready to go with that, but then further question, who's going to pay the rent?
The rent will get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
No, I don't want you prostituting yourself. I demand that you not be a prostitute.
And I don't want you prostituting yourself either, but one of us has got to work.
You will work it out. Because you are intelligent enough, and you are sensitive enough, and you are man enough to work out a new system. Because as long as the assumptions are the same, nothing will change. So we must corner ourselves to make a new assumption.
A black child looking at the world around him, and though he doesn't know quite what to make of it yet, he is aware that there is a reason why his mother works so hard. He is aware that there is a reason why his father is always on edge. He knows that there's a reason why if he attempts to sit in the front of the bus, his father or his mother slaps him and drags him to the back of that bus. And he knows that there's a terrible weight on his parents' shoulders, and that menaces him. And it isn't long before he discovers the shape of his oppression.
In the case of the American in a mirror, you suppose that you are too. It comes as a great shock around the age of 5, 6, or 7 to discover that the flag in which you have pledged allegiance to has not pledged allegiance to you.
It comes as a great shock to see Gary Cooper killing off the Indians. And although you are rooting for Gary Cooper, that the Indians are you. It comes as a great shock to discover the birthplace which you owe your life and identity to, and this whole system of reality doesn't involve any place for you. And it celebrates throughout the whole entire lifetime to when you are 30. Once again, not the catalog of disaster, but the policemen, the taxi drivers, the waiter, the landlady, the landlord, the banks, the insurance companies, millions of details, 24 hours of every.
It never crossed my mind that they would expect me to behave that way. I knew about Jim Crow, but I never experienced it until I went to the same self-service restaurant 3 times. And I stood at the counter with the Princeton boys, all high and mighty, waiting on a hamburger. And it wasn't until my 4th visit that I realized nothing ever was set before me. I simply just picked something up. Negroes weren't served there, I was told. And they had been waiting for me to realize that I was the only Negro there. Of course, once I was told this, I became determined to go there all the time. But next time they were ready for me, I never ate there again.
You see, the flag is drinks with our blood. Because you see, so many of our ancestors were drinks with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man, as we know this country was built on the black backs of black people across this country. I don't see why they don't see
Everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Someone just died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. 7 minutes later, all don't cool down, brother. Police don't go away, army don't disappear. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. Them regular trademark. Them regular trademark. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood. Them regular trademark. Them regular trademark. We care for the thing we no see. We care for the air around us. We've got to fight for freedom. We've got to fight for liberty. We've got to fight for justice. We've got to fight for happiness. We always get reason to fear. We don't want die. We don't want food. We don't want things. We don't want food. I get one child. I'm a different house. My body for house. I want build house. I don't build house. I don't want quench. I want enjoy. I don't want food. I don't care. Rhodesia, they feel their bone, all the just the year for nothing. South Africa, they feel their bone. And this sorrow, tears and blood. That is why everybody run, run. Everybody's scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. So time will they go. Time will wait for nobody. Like that. But police will come, army will come with confusion inside. Like this. Everybody run, run, run. Everybody's scatter. Some people lost some blood. Someone nearly died. Someone just died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. Everybody running on blood. Everybody step by. Some people lost some blood. Someone never be
Well, I'm still alive. I'm still better. Well, that's yeah. But a few things that got down to the very left, so you know, on something new, you know, I refer you back to an old song. No one even knows who wrote it. And it's supposed to be spiritual. It's supposed to be about, you know, Christian church, but it really is a slave folk song that says, I had my way. If I had my way, little children, great God, if I had my way, I'd tear this building down. It is not new for me. We've always felt that. It is new for you. And if we were white, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. It is that you can face, in some ways, the discontent of white people, and they rise their heroes. But you know, any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. But a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word. He is judged a criminal and treated like one until the party is over. But I know, after all, who my heroes are. And George Washington, not one of my heroes. What the American public is what you really mean by integration. Because no matter what I say, no matter what Martin said, the despair in the ghetto, the despair throughout the country, accumulates with every hour. And people don't much chance to indicate they do. People are trying to have something now. He said, black ghetto, which does not educate my children, except for becoming curious. This is power. And when the Republic reacts as it did to the linking of the two words, power and black, it's a confession of what the country has done with its power. And no matter how many people say, you know, you're being paranoid, you're about police brutality, I know what I'm talking about. I survived those precinct agents. I know. Every black cat in this country knows what the policeman is really like in 30 mile his. I know what he was like when I was really helpless. I'm beating my God. And I know what happens now because I'm not being helpless. I know too that if he doesn't, if I haven't got the mind, you know, to do whatever I have to do, he doesn't know it's Jimmy Ball and not just some other leader. You know, put my head up just like the book all this. Everybody else said. This is done with the village state. This cannot be overstated. It happened to my mother in the morning, my sister, my brother. It's only now being reborn, I'm used to this happening to you all. Heroes. But it's happened all these years to us. For me, this has always been a violent country. It's never been a democracy.
wildly like he was dancing for a god. He knew he was about to see what an unholy prayer his body was. Arms were all in the wrong direction, but this poem cannot be about Black Death. It is about how on that night we listened to Tupac. We tried to imagine heaven's ghetto, corner stores draped in gold, little girls playing double dutch, and him still dancing. The following morning I called my mother. Because black is still the only God I know worth praying to. I wanted her to know her baby boy was still black and still alive. And how political our phone call. how political my phone calls with my mother always will be, but this poem cannot be about politics. This poem has to be about Black joy. It has to be about fish fries and cookouts. It has to be about a place where all the little Black kids know all the dances even before they come out. It is about how on some days the most revolutionary thing I can do is enjoy my niece's laughter, how their brown faces bubble like good fried bologna sandwiches. This poem is about how when my brother came home from a tour in Iraq, the first thing we did was make fun of each other. We laughed, then we said, I love you. It is about how my aunt laid there in her deathbed, waiting for the cancer to try and make a liar out of her own body. She sat there and cracked jokes. You cannot kill Blackness. Too much of it is wrapped in an unshakable joy. That despite every reason not to, we still smile. We still Black, y'all. We still. We still. We still. All's my life I has to fight, nigga. All's my life hard times like bad trips like Nazareth, I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. You can hear me in your crib, we gon' be alright. I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. My homicide be looking at you for the face down. I'm making 11, you can boom with the face down. Scheming, now let me tell you about my life. Painkillers on me, put me in the twilight. But pretty pussy and Benjamin is the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows, 20 of them in my Chevy, tell her mother come and give it us. I think I'm going great. Trying to decide my price this all day. Won't you please believe when I say, when you know, we've been up and down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking in the world like, where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, wanna kill us dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm in the preacher's door, my knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright, Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. You can hear me in your crib, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. You can hear me in your crib, we gon' be alright. What you want? You a house, you a car, 40 acres and a mule, a piano with a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy, I'm your dog. Motherfucker, you can live at the mall. I can see the evil, I can tell it, I know it's illegal. I don't think about it, I deposit every year zero. Thinking of my partner, put the candy, penny on the regal. Digging in my pocket, and I'm popping big enough to feed you. Everything my logic, get another dollar just to keep you in the presence of your Chico. I don't talk about it, be about it, every day I see you. If I got it, then you know you got it, ever I can reach you. Pet up, that's all. Just making sure I shut the back for y'all. I rap, I black on tracks, so rest assured. My rights, my wrongs, I'm right till I'm right with God. And you know, we've been up and down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking in the world like, where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, wanna kill us dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm in the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. You can hear me in your crib, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. You can hear me in your crib, we gon' be alright. I keep running and up my cross my no need to stop me. Too afraid of my changes. I'm alright in your favor. Dark nights and my prayers. I remember you was conflicted. It's usually your influence. Sometimes I did the same. Abusing my power full of resentment. Resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. I didn't want to self-destruct.
The evil Lucy was all around me. So I went running for answers until I came home.
That's Black excellence right there. How y'all feel? This is how you feel. What? You all right? Oh my goodness. I moved every time I see it. I am so grateful for you all being here. I want to make sure I recognize that we have some co-sponsors of this. This is the Department of Theater and Dance. This is Arts and Issues Grant. Is Grant here? I don't know if Grant's here, but College of Arts and Sciences, our dean is here. Dean Kevin Leonard is here. We recognize the support of the College of Arts and Sciences. This is also Black Studies, Department of Theater and Dance, Black Theater Workshop. Who else? Who did I miss in this? Arts and Education. And also, I wanted to recognize our new chancellor at SIUE is here in the audience today. And I didn't want to embarrass him before, but I'm just so happy to have you here. Dr. Miner is in the house. And also our vice chancellor for, I don't know your whole title, Dr. Harris, but Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, Dr. Jessica Harris is here. Who did I introduce? I don't know. I don't know. But how y'all feeling? Give me some words. Let me popcorn out some words. One word emotion class. How you feeling? Let me hear. Because they're gonna come out. But how you feeling?
Good.
Good. Moved. Impacted. Seen.
Triumphant. Energy.
Triumphant. Oh. What else?
Energy.
Reflective. Visible. How you good to see you, baby girl? How you feeling? Good. That's the final word right there. Feeling good. Yeah. So they're gonna come out in a minute. I want you to think about if you have any questions for this ensemble when they come out. We do have our artistic directors are in the house. I'd love for you all to join me down here, to join us down here. We'll figure out how to sit some chairs up. I'd love for people to stay. I know that maybe some people can't stay. If you can, we're going to just take a few minutes to just process a little. I'm feeling the need to process. Oh my goodness. It's been a long time. I was thinking about it's been a long time since we've been in a community like this. And I said this is a way to bring the theater workshop back to being in person, right? This is a good way to bring us back in person. I hear we have coming down to the stage Bashir Dave Sanders and co-artistic director of New World Contemporary Dance Theater. Jacqueline Thompson, a good friend of mine, she also is a theater professor at UMSL and renowned theater artist in St. Louis. And this piece premiered at UMSL a few years ago, 2019. And I got to see it there. And that's how I knew we need this right here. So I'm very glad that we got to bring this here. Did you all want to say something?
Yes, I was just informed. Can I do this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll step back. Hi, I'm Bashir Page Sanders,
Can I
one of the co-artistic, oh, y'all are leaving me. Co-artistic directors of New World Contemporary Dance Theater. I was just informed that we are going to start the Talk Back with Poppy Artists. So if you all have any questions, you can just start right now.
Yes, let's do that. Oh, and also, this is Christopher Page Sanders, the co-artistic director of New World Contemporary Dance. I heard some wonderful feeling words. Tell me if you have any questions now for these are the creators right here. These are the creators of this piece. So questions for them. Oh, yeah, no, you can't say. Go ahead. Well, introduce yourselves as you come out. Introduce yourself so people know and where you're from.
May I?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Lamar Baylor. I am from Camden, New Jersey, and thank you.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Matt Sherrill. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Oh, we've not been with her. I thought at least like 21. Mature.
Hi, my name is Marlena Locklear. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm in my late 30s.
Hi everyone, I'm Nina Moore, originally from Denver, Colorado, but I go to school in Philly at the University of the Arts, and I'm 20.
I know we were saying our ages. Are you actors back here? Are you going to hide in the cut? Come on, actors, you can come out. The actors are like, yeah, sure. Three of our actors are current students here at SIU, and one is a guest artist we are fortunate to have who was part of the production. We'll get some more chairs. Introduce yourselves as you come out, please.
Hi, I'm Joshua. I'm from Chicago.
Hi, everybody. I'm Trayvon. I'm from Belleville, and I'm 20 years old. Hi, everybody. I'm D'Angelo. I'm from Fairview Heights, Illinois.
Hello, everyone. I'm Josh. I was actually in the previous production of this show at UMSL that premiered back in 2019.
This is D'Angelo's first show ever.
Oh, yeah.
And Jocelyn's second show.
Hello, did y'all enjoy the show?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Martez. I am from Kansas City, Missouri. Nice to meet you guys.
So, any questions? Any questions or comments? Yes.
I really love the way that you guys melded the spoken theater and the movement theater in this piece. I would just love to hear a little bit more about the production process and just even the rehearsal process of blending together the spoken story and the movement story.
Yes, we're really fortunate some of us have been fortunate to do this production originally when it was originally conceived in 2019 for the University of Missouri, St. Louis. And in that process and in this process, it was very quick. We've had a week of rehearsal. The dancers,
Sunday, they got here Sunday.
the dancers and the company got here on Sunday, and the actors in this production got here. It started on Monday. As far as the process and the process of picking material and finding James Baldwin spoken material, as well as everything that kind of surrounds it, it was a lot of listening. It was a lot of researching, and it was a lot of figuring out what the connective tissue would be, and how James Baldwin, although he was speaking about the 60s, about the 50s, as you listen to his words, it also very much feels like 2022, I guess I should say now, because we're here. It feels like 2022 as well. It feels like 2019 when we were originally doing it, before 2020, before that storm of a year. It felt very relevant. And so in all of that, I have to say that originally the cast for the dances, it was a cast of 5, right?
Well,
right? Originally a cast of 5?
Yes and no. One link that Chris is missing is that he originally choreographed the last section in Denver back in 2018, 17. Yeah, so in Nina right here originally did that section. So the last section that you saw was actually choreographed by Chris, and it was called Drenched in Our Blood. And so from there came this bigger project, from a small little 15-minute section to now this longer section. So that's the really important piece that I think was missing. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. But from a cast of 5 dancers to now a cast of 7, and finding more voices and more things that could be said and told, and relationships that could develop. So yeah, a lot of listening, and a lot of journaling, I think, for myself as well, and a lot of like talking to these beautiful collaborators as well, Jackie, Bashir, and then our designers, our other design team, originally Felia Davenport at UMSL, and then this design team of Claudia Brownlee, who created all of the costumes that the company wore, talking to Kathy, a lot of conversation. So this process really was developed out of a lot of conversations that we had about what it means to be Black in America right now, and not in the past, but literally currently right now. And what we kind of also want people to know. And there are a lot of things that I think Black audiences or Black people understand inherently. And then there are also things that we get to discover about ourselves and about the diversity of who we are, right? There's not one type of person. There are creates uniquely us. So yeah, that really was the process.
Any other questions? What's on your mind? Yes, yes. The good brother, J.T. Snipes, is in the house. President of Black Family Staff Association.
So just following off that last comment, I was really struck by the first song choice.
Yeah!
and given the political context that we're in, Joe Rogan, you taking the task for his use of the song, I would love to hear about the decision to start their music.
The decision to start there. It was, are we really doing this? Like, are we really doing this? Like, Jackie, not like this, like we really were like, are we really doing this? And we were like, yeah, we really are. It's really about like finding us. Like, what do words really mean? And I think also hearing James Baldwin's hearing his speech, hearing his thought, and like the fact that if we don't create or write our own stories, then somebody will write a story or we'll be given a story that we will then have to be subjected to because we didn't say anything or we didn't speak up loudly and force change, if that makes any sense. And also it's like, I'm gonna create my own definition. I'm gonna create my own, not humanity, that's not the right word that I'm trying to say, but I'm gonna create who I am. And I'm not gonna be defined by your box. And I'm not gonna be defined by what you think I should be. So I'm going to be myself and I'm going to eat watermelon and I'm going to drink kombucha and I'm going to go to yoga class and then I'm going to go to the club and I'm going to go to church and I'm going to be as Black and as queer and as loud about it as I will.
I'm curious as to how people felt when they heard that song come on. Because when I saw it also, I was like, oh, okay. Because I was in rehearsal a couple times. I was like, oh, this is where we're starting. Okay. And then when it comes blaring out of the hallway of Dunham Hall where they're rehearsing, I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know how, just how it struck people to hear that as the first song. I don't know, but I thank you for that. I think I saw another hand in the audience. Oh, the good brother, Dr. Timothy Lewis.
When one thinks about the orators of the 1950s and 60s, they normally think about Martin, Malcolm, maybe Lewis, Marshall, Abernathy. Why did you choose James Baldwin?
Why not? Why not? I mean, like we know Martin, we know Malcolm, we know Thurgood, we know the Reverend Abernathy, we know people we don't know, Bayard Rustin, right? Like, and people think they know James, or people know like he was a playwright, he was kind of an activist, but I think when you listen to him, like there's a fire, and I think it really resonates with this generation as well. There's a fire in James. There's a demand for change that resonates with me personally. That we're gonna get it, and I think the same thing with Nina. That like she demanded it. Aretha demanded, like we're going to get change whether you like it or not, and it may not be it may not be the way you think we're gonna get change, but I bet you this: by the end of this journey, there will be a change made. Like and James, I think he demands that, but he also has always like sat with me personally. We've had a good relationship. Like that's just been my homie. I can talk to him like that.
But I think also, like you said, normally we go to these certain artists, or not artists, but these certain people, and this is all about a learning experience, right? So if we consistently go to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all these other art figures, but we don't touch on James Baldwin and various others, then how will we learn about them? So now is the time to kind of not neglect what they taught us, but to now learn about something and someone new, and dig into that a little bit,
Yes. Oh, the good Lord Dominic is in his house. Lord Dominic Dorsey.
First, if you'll allow me to fangirl a little bit, I loved everything about this production. There is not a single piece of it that you did not have an emotional or equal reaction to, from the opening song to the Baldwin pieces, particularly the acting components. It's very emotional, especially juxtaposed to the dancing components. It's hard to pay attention to just one thing because everything is capturing your attention simultaneously. I also want to thank you because this is my daughter's first theatrical performance. She was struck. She was asking me, "Is he okay?" I was like, yeah. But just because it evokes such emotion, and thinking from a thespian perspective, even from the writing aspect, it was so much realness and rawness in those dialogues. Like I would hesitate to think that just came out of thin air. Like, where were you drawing that from? Was that in the conversations? Was it something specific that you were using as inspiration for those? Because like those monologues, that's rough. That's real. I'm sitting there looking at my wife like, we gonna talk in the car. Like, I'm just interested in that process because it was transformative.
Yeah. It's all the text. Yeah, it's his text. Yeah, one was an interview between Nikki Giovanni and James. The other one was from Giovanni's room. I don't know the first one.
And then the first was his speech at Cambridge. So his speech at Cambridge, Giovanni's room, a conversation between him and Nikki Giovanni. That was the loving section, and then we basically took those two conversations and was like, whoa, you know. But and it was also play. It was also play. Like it was us researching, getting in the room, researching James Baldwin, listening to his stuff, like finding things that resonates with us, and then literally giving it to actors and saying, okay, what resonates with you? This is what resonates with us. This is what we think is happening. Go. You know, like that was also kind of the process with the dancers as well. It was like I think both from myself, for Bashir, and even for Jackie, I think we love dichotomy. Like we love juxtaposition. Like those are like I love it. Right? Because that's who we are. Like they're like that's a part of our experience, that's a part of our fiber, that's a part of our being. Like we are this and. Like, we are that and. Right? And it's about trying to always find balance, right? Like the masculine energy, the feminine energy, and it's like somewhere in between, right? And like it's all of that, red and blue, and like up and down, and night and day, and we exist somewhere in between, right? So there's always this trying to find the balance, trying to find the light in the dark, trying to find the power, trying to find the whatever it is.
Can I ask the artists who did this, like, how did you all feel in the work, doing this work within a week?
Because some of you, the dancers, now some of you all came in and didn't know the choreography at all as a. On Sunday and knew nothing choreography.
I had watched the video. And I was like, this is gonna be a long one. But then once we got into the room, I mean, focusing on the steps first, making sure like, hey, I look like him, I look like this person, we all moving together. Making sure I'm in the right spot, or I think all of us were. Not to speak for everybody. I was trying to make sure I was where I was supposed to be and how I was supposed to be there and how he choreographed it. But then once we started to get further on into the process and listening to the spoken words as they were playing before we actually started moving, was like, oh, we're here. And so like somebody mentioned like starting off with this, we're starting here, was like, damn, like we really tapping into this. And hey, SIUE, thank you for the space, but like this is a PWI, predominantly white institution, so we are in the studio, but we got nigga playing inside, and there's a bunch of white people sitting outside just waiting for class, and that right there, it's like, damn, like we really taking this like head on, and that was a moment though, but honestly living in our truth and our existence and not shying away from that, so I was like, well, this is it, like I got a job to do, this is what we're supposed to do, but as it started to develop, and then coming in and working with the actors and seeing them like deliver these spoken words, like, and truly like investing into it and seeping their bodies into it has made, I feel like it made me want to dig deeper into the story and how I can tell it through movement. Was really, really amazing. And then also being a queer Black man in America, and then getting to do a duet with another man, like about sexuality, like, and being able to express it, and how it exists, and why it exists, and why it is important that it does exist the way that it does and how it does, really was taking it to another level, So then compiling all these things on top of one another, like I was like, yeah, like, no, I was not there for the civil rights movement, like, but this is my civil rights movement, like, so yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm excited to continue on.
Bless
you.
Bless you,
sweet baby. Bless you, sweet
I
baby.
know it's dirty in here, I'm sorry.
One thing I kind of had in my head the whole time, beautiful performance, was intersectionality, and how, kind of like we said how you all said on juxtaposition, and living so many different truths and identities, and how there were things that, like that scene on sexuality, that really affected me more than I thought it would. And I kind of wanted to, I guess, my question, like a commentary on how you brought intersectionality into this, and that there are things that each one of us can relate to so deeply, yet at the same time there are things that we'll never be able to relate to, and kind of how you brought that into each dance and each verse and each song.
Okay. It's important, like it is. It's important. Lamar brought it up. Being a queer Black male, there are many times where you're asked to choose an identity, even though both of those identities exist in the same body at the same time. I am always Black. I am always gay. And I hope to God for the rest of my life I will always be married to that man. But there are often times where, like, you go to the barbershop, you go to church, you go to the grocery store, and within our community it's like, well, what can I choose today? Can I choose my Blackness? Can I choose my queerness? What? But they don't. In our community, sometimes they don't coexist. They don't coexist, and I wish that they could. I wish that they would, because often it's like, in order for us to exist in this space, then we have to choose that, and not just be yourself, and let that be enough. I think it's our job as artists, and I think what we try to do, specifically with this company, with the SIUE Dance Theater, is use this platform to help redefine, re-examine, look at these stories, at these situations, look at intersectionality and how they coexist, and how we live a life of an onion. We live like these multifaceted lives. And hopefully, at some point, we're able to help reframe bias and how we make snap judgments or assumptions about people without even knowing them. And we hope that this art can do it's helped to push that training is not the right word. Everybody's been in EDI training. Help push the conversation forward as well, so that we can have these conversations about what does it mean to look at a Black man with a do-rag on. You know, what does it mean to look at a Black man who has a shirt across his shoulder and not like fully on? Like those are much of the things that we are fighting with every day. For a woman to have their hair naturally, the way it's designed by the creator, whoever you believe in. Like those are the things that we're also fighting as well.
I think also specifically in like this duet in the second section, it's very important, and just throughout the entire piece for our work and what we do, to be very transparent on stage, and be transparent through our work, and be very real and honest, and kind of just put it out there. So even when you watch like both duets, they stem from what we've been through and what we've experienced within. No, we're not in a straight relationship when it comes to the duet with Marlena and DeMarcus, but we how can I phrase this? We've been in, have our experiences in our personal homes and growing up and understanding that story, and then how it translates to our story and now how we interact with each other, and how does that show about in our interaction. And so now comes the work, now comes truth of certain things that we now have to face and discuss, and things that we've been through, things that we've experienced, and just being honest with ourselves. It has to be therapeutic for us so that it can be therapeutic for the dancers if need be, or so that they can at least tell the story and tell it very honestly. And there is this consistent, like Chris just mentioned, like we go through on a consistent basis, especially me, like I deal with and have dealt with, not, and I'm trying to overcome that of I'm here, so I have to present myself this way. But now I'm here, so I have to present myself this way. I mean, I'm originally from Baltimore. And so I know when I go certain places, I'm not gonna hold his hand, and I'm very honest with him about that. No, Roanoke Avenue, don't touch me right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I have to be honest with that, and it comes out of safety and fear versus when you go somewhere else. And now that we live in Denver, you know, in that interaction of being in a predominantly white city and walking down the street and being called nigga, and how that reacts, you know, how we deal with that as a couple of being called nigga faggot, y'all about to go to hell. And how do we relate to that? You know, how do we still overcome that moment, right? So it's really all about just laying it out on the table, being transparent, and letting people know, like, this is what we deal with. We're telling a story. We're here to really educate about real life situations, and still go home and exist within love, and us still loving each other. Mom and dad arguing and fighting about trying to pay the bills and trying to eat and put food on the table and working 12 hours, and and all of that, but still exist within love and still loving one another and loving, the family, and still trying to make it through and push through and make it through this marriage and make it through this life. So just I say all that to say it's really about just transparency and really just laying it out on the table, and just we have to do that.
I'm gonna let you didn't get your introduce yourself either. We're gonna close it up.
I just want to back up with what she was saying. This is really personal to me.
We can hear you.
Sorry. I just want to back up with what she was saying. It kind of hit me hard, this particular piece because not only the second movement, but just in general, when he speaks of watching my nieces laugh. I have a 2-year-old niece and a 1-year-old niece, and I'm the world to them, you know. And I pray all the time that they don't have to go through any of this stuff that this man just said. But trying to be themselves, you know. I protect them. I try to give them wisdom, and I have these like he said, these real conversations with them. I have 2 nephews, one I never met before, and he's 15, another one's 17. I have a 2-year-old niece and a 1-year-old. She's about to be home, so asleep. And it's so important that we have these conversations. I thank you for coming all this way, Black Asian Mother, to have this conversation. We have to continue to have this conversation right here. That's the only way that our history will continue to be told the way we want. As Chris said, that's the only way that we are able to not tear up anymore. Okay? Stand strong, right? And tell our story so that the generations from us can walk down the street in Denver with whoever they want and be proud, Black, gay, lesbian, or whatever they choose to be. Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you for this experience, for continuing Black legacy as it is, and I look forward to the next 2 shows. So please tell someone if they can't come live streaming, please tell someone. Okay, bless you.
You all, thank you. I'm just so grateful to you all. Beautiful, 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 beautiful ensemble right here. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. You can find more about New World Contemporary Dance Theater on their website. You should please check it out and see where they're going to be traveling, and tell people we are here tomorrow night at 7:30, Sunday at 2, and they can also catch it on our YouTube channel. Thank you all. Let's give them another hand.